Chapter 22. Rooms. There were afternoons at the pawn shop when business was slow and Hannah would lean her elbows on the counter and imagine the world behind the door. She stitched together the snippets of their clients' lives, creating a patchwork world of great office buildings filled with people wishing they were somewhere else, overcrowded trains that were not powered by dewdrops, and brightly colored rooms with rows of pachinko machines that ate money. Not once in all her daydreams had she conjured a place with 10-foot tall windows and an assortment of black and white paintings displayed over red brick walls, or that she would be sharing it with a man such as Kaishin. He had chosen, over and over again, to stay by her side, even when, through any lens, no one would have found fault if he had chosen to walk away. What is this place? Hannah? Kaishin jumped. You're here. Where else would I be? We are traveling to the Kyoku Hakubutsukan, remember? This is my old apartment. I thought you said that we were going to travel to the museum by writing a song. We are listening. Music wafted from a record player beneath the painting of a caged bird. The player's needle shifted from side to side, finding a woman's rich and buttery voice in the depths and shallows of the vinyl record's grooves. The tale of a girl drifting at sea in the night filled the room. This is your song. We are inside it. I am glad you chose it. It's beautiful. Kaisha kneaded the bridge of his nose, sinking into a worn tan leather couch. I don't understand. Why, I like your song. I don't understand how we are traveling inside a song, and why we are here in my apartment. This music playing is the same song that you shared with the kashu, is it not? It is. And this is your room. And this room is where you often listen to it, perhaps from the exact spot you are sitting in now, with a glass of wine or whiskey after work. And that is the reason why we are here. This is where the song lives. Hannah sat down on the other end of the couch. But this is not your apartment. It just looks like it. Kaishin stood up and ran his hand along the brick wall. This isn't real. It is, but it is not your home. This room was created to ferry us to the museum. It is unique to you and your song. My father's room was very different. What was his room like? It was the pawn shop's vault, Hannah said. He always used the birds' songs when we traveled. The vault and all the choices we kept in it were on his mind wherever we went. Unfortunately, sitting in a vault for a whole evening is not very comfortable. The whole evening? The museum is very far away. Hannah fished out her pack of rice cakes from her bag. Are you hungry? The rice cake's empty wrapping lay over Kaishin's dark wooden coffee table next to a miniature old-fashioned telescope made of brass. May I? Hannah gestured to the telescope. Kaishin nodded, sure. Hannah picked up the telescope and looked through it. I'm afraid it doesn't work, Kaishin said. It's just for decor. Nothing we keep around us is only for decor, is it? We select and surround ourselves with objects that speak to or for us, whether we are aware of it or not. Hannah set the telescope down, leaving streaks of dust on her fingertips. And this telescope is clearly saying that it desperately needs to be cleaned. Sorry, I have some paper towels in the kitchen. He stood up and paused mid-step. Do I have a kitchen? I'm not sure how this fairy thing works. You do not. Hannah wiped her hands on the front of her coat. You only get one room. Just one room. Good thing this isn't a date then, Kaishin chuckled. What is a date? Wait, you don't know what a date is? Am I supposed to? Well, it's when two people try to get to know each other better. They go to dinner, watch a movie or a show, and when things go well, they visit each other's homes? Yes, they visit. Like what we are doing now. Kaishin nodded. Like what we are doing now. And? And what? What else do people do on these visits? Why is this room insufficient? What other rooms do they require? She sank deeper into an oversized cushion, placing her hands on her lap. This room is quite pleasant. I do not find it lacking in any way. You know what? You're right. This is a perfectly good room. It is. A quiet settled over the living room like a layer of dust neither Hannah nor Kaishin seemed willing to disturb. Kaishin shifted his weight on the couch, making the leather squeak. Have you taken many lovers home? Hannah asked as though she were asking something as mundane as the time. Kaishin coughed. Lovers? This is the purpose of a date, is it not? To find a match? Well, Marriage is different in my world. It is a duty just like everything else in our lives. All you need to know about your future spouse is their name. She ran a finger over her right hand, tracking the invisible path paper cranes flew over in the rain. We have no use for dates. Kaishin stared at the bare skin on her arm, wondering if another man's name might be etched on it. He shoved the thought away. Then, maybe this could be your first date. I mean, that is, if you want it to be. Hannah smiled, quirking a brow. I thought you needed to have dinner first and see a show. I thought that you needed to have dinner first and see a show. Those are optional. Rice cakes and dusty telescopes are all you really need to make it official. Is that so? Absolutely. We're just missing one more thing. He walked over to a tall window. And what would that be? A view. Mr. Lee's Chinese takeaway is across the street. They have the best chicken chow mein. It's why I chose this apartment. He tugged the curtains back. Black clouds swirled behind the glass, their outline illuminated by bolts of lightning streaking through the dark. Kaishin jolted back. We are sailing over the sky sea, Hannah said. In quite a storm, I'm sorry. Sorry. Kaishin shut the curtains. For what? Bad weather always follows me. Bad weather follows me around. Really? Kaishin wrinkled his forehead. The weather hates me too. You are making fun of me. But it is true. I am certain that you have noticed that wherever we go, the sky soon shows its disapproval. I have, but I assume that it was because of... The record skipped and stalled. The room shook beneath Kaishin's feet, sending him staggering against a wall. Kai, your song! Hannah held over a rumbling of wood and bricks. Kaishin clutched the windowsill to keep from stumbling. Sing it in your head, now! Kaishin squeezed his eyes shut, summoning the song's notes. The record resumed playing. The quake stopped. You got distracted, Hannah said. The song cannot stop. You must empty yourself of thoughts that might keep it from playing in the back of your mind. This is how people get lost at sea, Kaishin said, swallowing the realization that had lodged in his throat like a rock. Yes, that is why no matter what happens, you must not let go of the song, Hannah said. Or me. Or me. I won't, I promise. Kaishin sat next to her, wiping cold sweat from his brow. I won't put you in any more danger than I already have. The Shikun wouldn't be chasing us if not for me. You may have chosen to stay, but I chose to let you. It was the first real choice I made in my life. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know yet. Kaishin rested his neck on the couch. And how about you? Are you regretting your decision? I've been scared and confused more times than I would like, but I don't regret a single second of my time here. Why? Because... Kaishin sat up, finding a smile. Because I get to take you on your first date. I don't recall agreeing to this being a date. Besides, you said that an official date required a view. I did say that, didn't I? Kaishin smirked, scratching his nape. I really wish I could have taken you someplace other than this boring apartment. There are so many things and places you would enjoy seeing in my world. Like what? I would have loved to take you around my university. The campus is especially lovely at this time of year. The maple trees in the courtyard know how to put on a good show. Hannah nodded, her gaze drifting to the window without a view. There's something about autumn that makes things more beautiful. Out of all the seasons, it is the most honest about time. Summer and spring blind you to its passing with their colorful display. Winter paints over everything in white, but autumn is not shy about things coming to an end. It welcomes it, waving leafy flags of red, yellow, and gold. It celebrates its sadness. Not just sadness, though, right? Kaishin said. It's also a celebration of all that is waiting on the other side of it. Yes, Hannah said, surprised by how quickly she agreed with him when only a day ago she thought the season meant only melancholy. Like his dimpled smile, Kaishin's hope was contagious. That too. So, are you curious about what else we would do on this date? Kaishin said. We don't need to go anywhere. I am still enjoying the trees, Hannah teased, staring up at imaginary leaves. I promise that you'll like the pumpkin spice cake at the coffee shop around the corner even more. It's just a short walk. You'll need to hold my hand, though. I wouldn't want you to get lost. He offered his hand. Hannah clasped it. Tell me more about this cake, she said, leaning against his shoulder. Where do I begin? Its cream cheese frostings, its moist goodness, how it's perfect with coffee. It's basically everything I like about autumn baked into a perfect little treat. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, all things cozy and warm. Kaishin pressed Hannah's palm against his cheek. And sweet. That sounds delicious. Hannah found herself running her thumb over his jaw, savoring it. That sounds delicious? Hannah found herself running her thumb over his jaw, savoring its sharpness and heat. I think I like this date. Me too. Kaishin brushed his lips against her wrist. Hannah's cheeks flushed. She pulled her hand away. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. There is no need to apologize. It was my fault. This world is new to you, but not to me. I should know better. This place can make you feel things that are not real. This room, this couch, they trick your mind. And are you also a trick, Hannah? Because if you are, then consider me willing to be fooled. The way you see things, speak about things, when I'm with you, you make things feel new. Even this dusty room. It's, not that dusty. Hannah sneezed loudly. You were saying, Kaishin chuckled. Hannah laughed too, because when Kaishin laughed, he made her forget all the reasons she was not supposed to be happy. I made you laugh. I hope that means that our first date wasn't a complete disaster. No, it was not, Hannah said, the last of her laughter still tingling on her lips. Though I think that traveling inside that cafe would have been slightly more enjoyable than this room. I have always preferred cake to dust. I don't even know why the song chose this room for us to travel in, Kaishin said. Whenever I used to listen to it, my mind never stayed in this place. The song didn't create this room, you did. Perhaps even as much as you insist on wanting to explore my world. The cashew was right. A part of you is longing for home. If I'm responsible for creating this world, then I can certainly try to do better. Kaishin closed his eyes and weaved his fingers through Hannah's. If this is my one chance to give you a glimpse of my world, I want to show you where this song really takes me. 11,000 giant, unblinking glass eyes surrounded Hannah as she floated on a small rubber boat. She drew a sharp breath through her teeth and squeezed Kaishin's hand. It worked. Kaishin blinked, looking around the enormous cylindrical stainless steel tank. We're here. Where is here? Hannah said breathlessly. More than 3,000 feet beneath the ground, Kaishin said. Do you remember the neutrinos I told you about? The invisible particles that are like the invisible particles that are like ghosts? This is where we trap them. We're inside the super Kamiokande neutrino detector. The mountain we are under acts like a filter. Only neutrinos can pass through its layer of rock and soil. Kaishin pointed to the large glass bulbs covering every inch of the detector's curved walls. And those are PMTs, photomultiplier tubes. They detect the light that's created on the rare occasions that a neutrino passes through the mountain and strikes a water molecule. They're so sensitive that they can detect light from a candle lit on the moon. This tank is normally filled with water, but it's been partially drained for maintenance. Today, it's a small lake for two, or the inside of the TARDIS. TARDIS? Forget I said that. That might be harder to explain than neutrinos. So this is a memory from where you work? A borrowed one. A colleague at the detector recorded a video of the tank during maintenance work and sent it to me. There was a chance that the maintenance would finish early and that the tank would be filled before I reported for my job at Super K, and he didn't want me to miss out on seeing this. Very few people get to see the tank this way. I thought it was the most peaceful, otherworldly place I had ever seen. Of course, that was before I stumbled into your pawn shop, Kaishin said. And yes, I do see the irony in escaping to a place that is essentially an elaborate trap. A beautiful one, Hannah said. As the best traps should be. I'd hide away here too. I don't think I've ever been to a calmer place. Thank you for bringing me here. Hannah studied her face in the water. 1,000 bulbs shimmered around it like silver moons. She did not recognize herself. For the first time in her life, she looked almost content. She reached over the side of the rubber boat to touch her reflection. Kaishin grabbed her hand. It's not the kind of water you want to touch. It's extremely pure water. It's corrosive. It sucks the minerals out of anything it comes in contact with. Someone accidentally dropped a metal hammer into the tank, and when they found it, years later, all that was left of it was an eggshell-thin chrome shell. The water had hollowed it out. This water can eat flesh? If you made the mistake of taking a leisurely soak in it, then it is not just in my world that things are not always as they seem. Hannah stretched out over the bottom of the boat. Still, I'm glad we're here. It's best to get all the rest we can while we can. The next part of our journey may not be as peaceful. Kaishin laid next to her, her fingers almost touching. Their fingers almost touching. You never told me the end of the story. What story? The story about Urashima Taro and the turtle. What happened to Taro after he opened the box? Are you sure you want to know? Of course. You can't tell someone a story and not tell them how it ends. But isn't that what life is like in your world? A story whose ending has yet to be written. I have often wondered what it would be like to live like that. To me, that would be the greatest of luxuries. I imagine that it is that very uncertainty that makes working in a place such as this worthwhile. the excitement of discovery, the prospect of learning something that could change the course of your world. You aren't wrong, but it is also a life that comes without the smallest guarantee. There are so many choices pulling you left one second, right the next. People stray from commitments and paths. It's easy to get lost. You would prefer that map of your life be written on your skin? You would prefer that a map of your life be written on your skin? I can't help but wonder if things would have turned out differently if my mother had a map. If her fate had been clear, then perhaps she wouldn't have been so restless. Maybe she would have stayed with you and your father. Kaishin turned to face Hannah. The honest answer is, I don't know. The answer I want to believe is yes. Duty isn't the same as love. Do reasons even matter? Do reasons even matter if I can't tell the difference? If you can't tell the difference. Close your eyes. Why? Do you trust me? Kaishin lowered his eyelids. Hannah pressed her lips against Kaishin's mouth, rocking the boat beneath them. Hannah! Kaishin jerked his head back. Hannah cupped his face, guiding his lips to hers. Kaishin's shoulders tensed, but he did not break away. He folded her in his arms and deepened the kiss, melting into the warmth of her mouth. Hannah pulled back and sat up. Kaishin stared at her, breathing hard. What was that? A kiss. I know that was a kiss. I want to know why you kissed me. I thought you said that reasons didn't matter. So it wasn't a kiss. Kaishin's face grew somber. And I thought that I was the only scientist here. It was an experiment to prove that I was wrong and you were right. Was I? Kaishin lay back in the boat, casting his eyes over the bulbs above them. Yes. You were right, too. About what? The kiss. The first one was an experiment. And the second one was the second real choice I have ever made. And was it a good or bad thing? Unanswered questions like boxes you never opened. Unanswered questions like boxes you never opened, their contents vanishing and reappearing, stretching and contracting, being nothing and everything all at once. Hannah did not make a habit of hoarding them. In her world, it wasn't difficult. For every question that had ever crossed her mind, there was a black and white answer that stripped it of all mystery. But tonight, she sat on a rubber boat, a box containing Kaishin's question balancing on her lap. The question knocked on the box's lid, trying to get her attention. Hannah tried to ignore it. She kept her eyes on Kaishin as he slept, watching his song dance behind his lids. As he dreamed, the box rattled louder. Hannah heaved a sigh. She leaned closer to the box and heard the whisper inside it. Was it a good or bad thing? Hannah touched her lips, remembering the moist heat of Kaishin's mouth. His question was simple. Answering it was not. If she was going to find her parents and bring them home, it was not an answer she could ever say out loud. She tossed the box into the water, drowning it in the reflection of 11,000 moons. The 11,000 moons line is a good one. But also he took her underground to show her his world. I don't know about that move. I don't know. Okay. All right. Good night.